So, hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I'm sitting here with the recovering Democrat, Donovan Sadiq. And Donovan's going to have a whole lot to say about this, I already know. And so, the purpose of the Demetra K show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people with the emphasis on even. And today, we are going to be talking about the situation, not Kanye West per se, but his situation, and we're going to kind of round it up into parenting, father's rights, mother's rights, co-parenting, and all of that. And so, of course, you know, Donovan is going to bring the heat as he always does because he sticks up for you men, and rightfully so, right? So
anyway, I am a father's rights advocate, absolutely, because I was a victim of the system in myself. So
right. So we're going to have that conversation. And Donovan, what say you before we get started?
Well, what I'm going to say, before we get started is the fact, welcome to the Demetra K podcast. We are lucky and blessed to have you guys listen in with us. So if you're sitting in traffic or whatever, and you're doing whatever, thank you for tuning in and listening, getting a little knowledge. Do us a favor, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you have already contributed, we thank you so much. Time is money and money is time. So it does cost a little bit to put these shows on. Please continue to support Black media. And if you're watching the video cast of this, we've got Venmo, PayPal, and Cash App to Demetra K's at the bottom of the banner there. You guys are going to see it in a little bit when she gets to it. She's been running a little bit late because she's been doing a lot of stuff as well. This is a very, very important topic because it goes to show you how delusional the modern woman is. I mean, it really does go to show you how delusional it is, because let's face it, a lot of these young women have been raised by these bitter women that talk about, you don't need no man, you could do it on your own, you can do all this, whatever, man ain't shit, right? We're going to talk about a topic that is very, very important, because one thing we have to agree, you need a man to have a baby. So let's start right there.
Or do we? Do we need a man to have a baby, or can we use a turkey baster, boo?
So well, you can, but the point is, you need our cells. You need that. Right. You need the sperm cells. So without the man, you can't have no damn baby.
I feel you, brother. I feel you. I was just being a little funny, joking, joke. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. The reason why we bring this up is because, you know, on this show, we don't like to do a lot of gossiping or anything like that, but we do like to tackle subjects that are, I guess, trending and try to tie it into something that is helpful. And so recently, oh gosh, let's see here. Kanye, and as you guys know, Kanye and Kim Kardashian, they were married, and they got Kim filed for divorce last year. So almost a year ago, she filed for divorce from Kanye for a whole bunch of reasons. You know, we don't want to get into all of that, but they share 4 children together. And their oldest children, I think is about 7 or 8. Her name is North. I didn't put a picture up because she's a child, but the issue they're fighting over, they've had a pretty public, you know, back and forth, if you will. But the issue that they're fighting over now is their daughter, who is about 8 maybe. She has a TikTok account. Now, admittedly, TikTok is for children. It's originally a children's app, okay?
However, and the parents just took it over.
Right. There's not children on there. I mean, you can see a whole host of things on TikTok. Booty shaking and, you know, adults talking about.
You know what's sad about that? If you see the mamas doing that, these are mothers doing this silliness.
Right. So there's a lot on TikTok. So it's not really a child's app anymore. And y'all know, I won't get into how we feel about children being on social media, but I kind of want to read y'all a little bit of what is going on between Kim and Kanye. Kanye, as they used to be. All right. So Kanye made a big deal out of the child being on TikTok, and this is not the first time. He said he didn't want her on there. If I understand, North has over 5 million followers on TikTok. Now, I think it doesn't take a rocket scientist between me and Donovan and you all watching that. That's not all children. That's grown people who are subscribed to a child. And I don't know what she's doing. I'm sure it's some kid stuff, I would hope, right? So anyway.
Well, she could be trying to get into the family business. You know, grandmother, Kim, what's her name? Chris is grooming her to continue in the family business of, you know.
Yeah, Chris is like everybody getting the shmoney, okay? So anyway, this is what Kim said in response to Kanye basically saying this is irresponsible, I don't want her on there. And she says, Kanye's constant attack on me in interviews and on social media is actually more hurtful than any TikTok North may create. As a parent who is the main provider and caregiver here for our children. I am doing my best to protect our daughter while also allowing her to express her creativity in the medium that she wishes with an adult supervision because it brings her happiness. Divorces are difficult enough on our children, and Kanye's obsession with trying to control and manipulate our situation so negatively and publicly is causing further pain for all. From the beginning, I have wanted nothing but a healthy and supportive co-parenting relationship because it is what is best for our children. And it saddens me that Kanye continues to make it impossible every step of the way. I wish to handle all matters regarding our children privately, and hopefully he can respond to the third attorney he has had in the last year to resolve any issues amicably. All right. So y'all notice how I said main provider, right? So Kanye responds and says, what do you mean by main? Now, of course, this is all on social media. What do you mean by main provider? America saw you try to kidnap my daughter on her birthday by not providing the address. You put security on me inside of the house to play with my son, then accused me of stealing. I had to take a drug test after Chicago's party because you accused me of being on drugs. Tracy Romalos, whoever that is, stop manipulating Kim to be this way. And so, of course, like I said, you know, they had a lot of back and forth, and it played out in you know, for the public eye to see. Mm-hmm. And so let's see, in his last one, he says, TMZ, my children are not a game to me. I need an apology for how you tried to spin the narrative. You are not being a fair media source. You're picking sides against the dad. And so they posted something saying, Kanye West shades Kim Kardashian over Northwest on TikTok. And so, you know, he's basically like, y'all in the mix and y'all starting stuff. Now, it also should be said that TMZ is supposed to be in the pocket of Kris Jenner's her name. They're supposed to be friends. And so they don't, I don't know, I don't listen to watch TMZ, but allegedly they don't put out a whole lot of negative stuff about the Kardashians because her and Harvey, the guy who, they're homies. So Kanye has spoke out about TMZ a while back, saying that how they're racist and they always dog black men. And
of course they do. I mean, you know, what's the surprise? You know, black men are just being dogged all over the place, and the black women are helping do it. I'm sorry, the black women are complicit in it as well.
Right, and so somebody responded, correcting Ye's headlines. I guess somebody who, you know, people do all kind of stuff on Twitter, and it says corrected. Kanye wants a say on how his children are raised. In response to TMZ saying, oh, he's shading Kim Kardashian over the TikTok account for the child. And so, Donovan, with all of that you have just heard, what is your thoughts initially on, you know, the situation?
Okay, first of all, I want you guys to understand this. Okay, let's get it from the very beginning. See, you know, we have to go to the origins of all this shit, okay? Now, this is my statement, not Demetra K's statement, okay? What do you expect from a thought? He knew what he was getting involved with. This woman made a sex tape with another industry person, Ray J, and this isn't alleged. We know that there is a sex tape. It was out there. That's how she got on the map. Okay? Not saying she's a bad person. That is not what I'm saying about Kim Kardashian. I'm saying she's a bad person. But the point is, you knew the job was dangerous when you took it, Fred. Okay? So you're dealing with that type of chick. You're dealing with the mom. You've been with this lady for what, 8 years now? 9 years?
About that, yeah.
And you continue to have children with her. And now, because you're getting tired of the thoughtism or whatever's going on, or she's trying to change her thing or whatever it is. Now, brother, you sitting out here complaining and stuff, and you didn't think you were going to get a hard time? Come on. I mean, so for those of you guys that are listening, I don't care how you take it, but you got to start at the origins. I can't feel sorry for a brother or a woman who gets involved with a person who is a baller or a drug dealer or whatever, and then you want everybody to feel sorry for you. Now, I feel sorry as a parent that he's going through this because let's face it, a lot of women, and not all women, a lot of women use their children as a hostage against the father, and that is a true statement. Not all women, but a lot of them do it. The children are nothing more than a bag. How do you guys say it? I know you guys, ladies, are clutching your pearls right now. Oh my God, how did he say that? Why is it that these women don't care who they're getting pregnant by as long as they're getting pregnant? You don't care about that child. You just care about getting the money. A prostitute's mentality. That's what it is. Getting the money, regardless of how you get it. You bring a child into this world, and now you've got the two parents fighting over the child and acting like the father has no damn say whatsoever. He's 50% as equal as you are. So that's my statement on that. I mean, I feel bad for him as a parent and as a father, but then again, he stepped into it from the very beginning.
Right. And so originally, the original post that started off was Kanye saying on, I guess he's hardly on Instagram, but he got back on this particular time. And he put a screenshot of his daughter on TikTok. And it says, since this is my first divorce, I need to know what I should do about my daughter being put on TikTok against my will. Mm-hmm. So he is saying, you know, I should have a say so as if my daughter is on the internet, right? And so I'm going to go ahead and say he should have a say so.
He should, but unfortunately, that's not reality. The laws are written to where he ain't got no damn say so. He's going to spend a lot of money on lawyers to get that say so.
Well, I mean, if what he is saying is true as far as her making him take drug tests and, you know, all that kind of stuff, I mean, yeah, I mean, it sounds like the ball is in her court, but I want to say this too, okay? Listen to me and listen to me good, y'all. And I'm speaking to you brothers out there in them YouTube streets and everywhere else, okay? Y'all always talk about black women is black women and black women is gold digging, black women put you in the child support system, black women won't let you see your kids. But here's a whole white woman. I don't care what y'all say. Kim Kardashian is
black.
She's white.
She's black.
Okay.
Armenian is part black out of the Turkey Middle Eastern area.
She white. Okay. Right. She white. And here she is doing this to a brother. And now y'all know it ain't California. Okay. So California is one of those states that's really egregious as far as, you know, being against fathers and child support and the family court system.
Trust me, I know.
Here he is as a black man. He's a billionaire. Okay. And I think she is too at this point, but we don't talk about him. He's a billionaire. You would think he'd be able to wave his magical Negro wand or whatever it is and say, hey, Your Honor, or judge or court or whatever, this is what's going on. And they will say, oh, okay. But what that should tell Khalid, that's my he must be on my mind. Kanye, what that should tell Kanye is, it don't matter who you are, boo-boo. You, like you said, you decided to wife a white woman, and now she running you, you know, she is making you take a drug test to see your own children.
See, let me interject with that. That is the playbook that a lot of women use in the family court system. You have to, you know, once they can like put it into an aspect that you're on drugs, you got mental issues, you're a felon, all of these negative tropes that they use that so that the kids are in control with them and the court side with them. That is the first step in the playbook.
So yes, indeed, I agree with you. So the point that I'm making is, it don't matter who you with, you know, because I know, and I'm just, this is kind of me speaking up for the sisters, because sometimes we do get a bad rap as being when it comes to the family court system. But here this white woman is taking you as a billionaire father, and you know, and I've never seen Kanye, you know, people say that he wasn't trying to be with his kids and all of that. Sounds like he loves his kids. Yeah. He wants to be involved in his kids' life, but you know, unfortunately, and I will say this, and you know, me and you can really kind of speak to this, is a lot of times when people move on and they get somebody new, they maybe directly or inadvertently want the other person out the picture. Well, I got somebody else now, you know, my new man or my new woman ain't gonna really want you just coming over here to get your kids, and so I'd rather you just not, and I'll do whatever I need to do to make sure that you're out of the picture. So what do you think?
Until the money runs out, and then I need to go back and get that back child support that I, you know, because I wasn't thinking ahead of time that, you know, this relationship's going to last, whatever. You know how they do it sometimes.
And then the other part about this, because like you said about him and her, you know, he should know that she was an industry thot and all that's what you say. The other thing is true for her end. I mean, you knew who you was having kids with. I mean, Kanye, the word on the street is
Amber Rose and all that other stuff.
Yeah, he's been maybe not dealing with a full deck of cards, and so you let him put 4 babies in you, and now all of a sudden you're trying to pronounce him crazy or whatever to the world. But it's like, was he crazy when he put those babies in you, or is he crazy now because now you just don't want him in the
deal with them? Right. And again, see, we're talking about the mother and the father, but who ultimately gets affected by all of this?
The children.
The children.
So I'm going to just say, and I'm going to just put it out there, I do not think any children should be on social media. And I say this to you guys a lot. My child is 29. I can't say that too loud because she get mad. My child is 29, okay? But
you told me she was 19.
Okay. But if she was a little girl, like elementary and even junior high, I wouldn't let her have no apps and be all up on social media because you don't know who she's talking to.
Do you know what's crazy? Do you know what's crazy? I'll see some young parents and it's like, okay, you'll be over there visiting with them or whatever. And it's like, I'll look at the clock and it's like 8:30 and the kids are still running around. When we were coming up, I don't care who it was in the neighborhood. Everybody's bedtime, especially if you're in elementary school, was about 8 o'clock. These kids, do they just stay up until they go to sleep?
Until they just fall out wherever they are.
It's crazy. It is crazy. And then when you mention it, and I'm sorry, you sisters, you get this cutback from the Black women. That ain't your child. Don't you worry about it.
So he did get a lot of that, in the comment section. Leave her alone. There's nothing wrong with, and unfortunately, it was a lot of sisters in there, big up in that. Leave her alone. She should be able to do
the bullshit.
And it's like, but I know y'all not together, Kim and Kanye. I don't know if you'll see this, but y'all not together. But that's still her father, and her father should have some say-so in her life. And it's not like he's saying, well, I don't want her to go to this particular school. Okay, you might have some sort of an argument there, but he's saying, I don't want her to interact as an 8-year-old child with over 5 million strangers she don't know. And I guarantee you, it's a bunch of adults following her. And I want to know this too. Adults, are y'all that damn bored to where you watching a little 8-year-old do whatever 8-year-old is doing on the internet?
Yes. Look at the United States rate in pedophiles compared to any other country. Yes, they are bored. Yes. And then here's another thing you parents got to think about. When you let your child use those apps or on the computer, you're letting a stranger into your house.
Oh, absolutely. And all day long, and I know Kim is probably like, well, I've got umpteen security details and nobody will ever get next to my child, but they might not physically get next to your child, but they will mentally and emotionally get next to your child, especially if she is on that app unsupervised. And I know she's probably saying, well, I'm watching her, because I think it says Kim and North or something like that on the TikTok. She's probably saying, I'm watching her, but I fail to believe that you're watching your child every day, minute of the day while she's on the phone.
Demetra, there was plenty of times where you jumped that fence at school and went over to Ramona to go see your boyfriend or whatever. You know what I mean?
I did, but I was in high school, boo.
Right. No, but what I'm saying is, like I said, I agree with you wholeheartedly, but we just had a young lady that met a man on an app and ended up getting murdered. And like you said, you can't be with these kids 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So let's say I meet this young girl. She's a young girl at 8 years old, and I groom her. I groom her till she's about 15. And then she says, oh, mom, me and the security, we're going to go over here. And you know how, kids are very inventive and stuff. And like, I got to go do this, whatever. Next. So you know where I'm going with that.
Yeah, because like you said, I mean, kids get lured and groomed by grown people. Not just men are doing the grooming and the luring, but women do it too. It happens all day long. And
yeah, I was victimized. I mean, all through high school by these women.
So we like you said, we've heard a copious amount of stories on of kids getting lured, or they found her 20 states over with some 50-year-old dude, and she's 14, and and she
up in a hotel somewhere.
Yeah, she thought she was in love, and so maybe somebody will never get close to North physically, but they're getting close to her mentally. And that's worse.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
worse.
Absolutely. And it's, I'm going to ask you this as a woman. When is it that you should stop? 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 When is it that you sho does a man have any say-so when it comes to his children? Why is it that women feel because they're carrying this man's seed that, and you could, and ladies, I know you're listening and you're like, oh, this motherfucker's full of shit. Here's the deal, because you could hear it. Like, okay, I could say one thing about me and my youngest son's mother, and I only got 2 baby mamas because one's a mistake. You know, one was, everybody's entitled to a mistake. So I had another relationship, I had another baby. The one thing that we decided was we are a united front. We are not going to override each other in public. We're not going to do that. And I'm the father. And if I say something, even though she might not agree with it, she's going to roll with it until we can talk about it later. But this is why what I'm saying to you ladies is true. And I know you don't want to hear it because the truth fucking hurts you. When you say out of your mouth, my child, my child, my child, when you're, and the father is right there, rather than saying our child, our child. Look at all these court shows. You see it. The first thing that comes out that woman's mouth is my child, my child, my child. You should be saying our child, because if you're saying my child, mama's baby, daddy's maybe. That's why where some of that thing comes from. Because if you're saying it's your child, then obviously it's not his child.
Yeah, I get it, because it's funny. I was having that conversation with my daughter earlier, that some women do the reverse on the mama's baby, daddy's maybe. Like, well, shoot, that's my damn baby. You don't tell me what to do with my baby.
Right.
Or, you know, and then the mama or the grandma might say, mother might say, that's your child.
Right.
You don't let him tell you. And so I kind of get that from a mama's point of view, because there's certain things moms know more better than the father.
Of course.
But you cannot exclude the daddy and say you have no say so, because when it becomes ass whooping time, now maybe not physically, but you know, when the child is wayward or something, and you know, like when we used to come up, wait till your father gets home.
Wait till your father gets home.
Right, you know, exactly. So that meant something, especially if you know, had a father in your household or whatever. Or
and dad's tired. If dad got to get involved, you're in trouble.
I'm gonna tell you, one time, my siblings and I, we were being bad. I forget what we was doing, but my mom was like, when you do, wait till your father get home. When your father get home, y'all gonna get in trouble. I'm telling. And do you know we would be? We're sorry, Mom.
Look. Even when you're hearing your friends play outside, you're so terrified of your father that all you could think about is the ass whipping that's coming.
And you know, my dad owned his own business, so he would leave from sun up, come back sundown, and we was always promised that ass whooping. And so the whole time he's at work, you're like, okay, the sun is going down, he's coming home.
Yep.
Like, okay, today is the day. And then he would come and eat. I ain't forgot. And then he fall
Get in that room. Get in that room.
He would fall asleep, and we would never get the ass whooping. But the point that I'm making is, just the thought that we was like, oh my God, I would just whoop me and get it over with.
Yeah. And it was kind of funny that we bring that up, because, like I said, with me and my ex, I had to tell her, stop making me the villain, because you know that's the impression my son is getting. Oh, dad's coming in to kick some ass, you know.
But you know what though? It's healthy though, because
no. I mean, if it's equally fair,
I get it. I get what you're saying, but I'm saying it's healthy because back then, and listen, I don't have a shame in the game of telling y'all I'm 50. Fine, okay, 50. I'm 50. But you and I are old enough to know that meant something. When mama had to tell you daddy was finna come put a foot to your behind, that meant something. Nowadays, daddy ain't around for whatever reason, whether he don't want to be or whether the mama don't want her to be. Daddy ain't around, and you say your daddy gonna come and administer some real ass whoopings. And
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Daddy sees you so inconsequentially that he's there just to love you and be with you and spend time with you. He ain't got time to be whipping no ass, because he's like, well, I haven't seen you in a month. Yeah. Yeah,
and moms knew that she could utilize daddy as reinforcement. Like, okay, y'all ain't listening to me. Let me pull out the arsenal on you.
Yeah. The funny thing is, I remember as a kid in the summertime, my grandfather, I would never see this man actually like get upset, because he would come home from work, and he's a young guy at the time. He's 46. I'm like 6 years old or whatever age I was. And we're that generation where we're raised with our uncles and aunts. We're all about the same age, big family, right? And one day we stole his wallet. We didn't take it, but no, we didn't steal it. But my uncle took his wallet, and we did something. I saw my grandfather jump off of that couch and just get upset right now. I'm the grandchild, so he wasn't going to deal with us, like that. But my uncle Matthew, he jumped on him. We heard Uncle Matthew get that whooping. Oh my God. I had never seen it before in my life. And that's when I knew that's the dude you do not want to mess.
You knew fat meat was green.
Yeah. I mean, because my grandfather's a quiet man, very, he was always sleeping, when I saw him. And it was just like, man, and then when you go in there and you kind of, I went to go see my Uncle Matthew, like, and he's in the bed, like all messed up. Yeah. I mean, he's devastated, and you're like, holy shit.
Shit.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm not going to do anything to get in trouble with that.
See, you're like me. When I saw everybody else getting a whooping, I was like, let me put that on the list of things not to do.
Yes, right.
Because you ain't going to be whooping on me. I got a few whoopings in my whole life, right. But, and I'm sure they were well deserved. Maybe, I don't know. Mm-hmm. But I just think that, especially in the case of Kanye and Kim, it was all good for him to be the daddy when y'all was together. But now that y'all not together, you trying to paint him as this, and he don't have a say so, and you trying to justify what? Just take listen. Between the both of y'all got B's in the bank. Okay, y'all got billions of dollars.
Right.
So it's not like she needs to be on there for revenue or try to get famous, or she don't need to be on there. So to me, that's a silly argument for Kim to be trying to fight with him over. Take her off.
But the thing is, where's the happy medium? Okay, she's only 8 years old right now. I'm very sure the happy medium was like, look, when she gets 15, it's like, let me ask you this, ladies, if you're listening, even Demetra, what age was it? Remember that talk your mom said, I don't want you wearing makeup until you're how old?
For me, it was 15, 16.
Right. But you see what I'm saying? Your mother was like, when you get this age, then you could do it.
Right.
So there's this happy medium somewhere.
And the makeup was, you wasn't going to be wearing a whole bunch of the stuff.
Yeah, the horror look. It was that's so popular today.
Yeah, it was lip gloss and little eyeliner, boo-boo.
Right. But you gradually became a young lady, and you kind of, your mom walked you into it. You know what I mean? And then by the time you're 18, you know how to do the whole thing on your face and stuff like that. But that was something that was a happy medium that was acceptable to your father and to your mother, because you're still a child, even though you're growing into a young woman. An 8-year-old, I mean, come on, Kim. Come on,
and that's what I'm saying. So you're gonna die on that hill of well, she's just a child, and I'm trying to have her be creativity. Listen, lady, y'all got all this money. I'm sure you can find other ways for her to be creative than to be on TikTok with 5 million, probably mostly adults following her. And my thing is this too. And I was asking my daughter, I said, because I get happy when I see children playing outside. And so I said, why?
When? What? When?
It's rare.
Playing outside? When?
It's rare. Because when I go visit my friend at his apartment complex, there's children there playing in the trees. And I'm like, that is just like music to my ears, because you really don't see children just be like, we play it outside. We got to break it with a ball.
No. Look, and remember, it wasn't like we played outside. Our parents made us go outside. You clean up the house, and then you stay outside until they called you.
And we like being outside. We played in the sand. We remember do kids even smell like outside anymore?
They smell like punk socks because they're in their rooms playing PlayStation all day. It's crazy.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So what's wrong with her playing, outside with the kids? Or,
what's wrong with her being a child, period?
And I'm really having more, not maybe more of a problem, but I'm having a problem with, like, I'm not one of those people. And if y'all go on my social media, you don't see me posting a lot anymore, because I'm like, listen, I'm 50 and I want to enjoy life. I don't want to be sucked into the internet. And now they got this metaverse. And side note, I was reading an article where this lady decided to get her I guess you have the avatar in the metaverse, something that Mark Zuckerberg is coming up with. She got into the metaverse, and that lady was in there 2 minutes before she said she was gang assaulted by 6 other avatars.
Oh, damn. Yikes.
She wasn't in the game 2 minutes.
Is that a crime? Would that be considered a crime, a cyber crime?
Those are things you're going to have to consider. She said she had to snatch her avatar up out of there and take off the earplugs.
Right.
2 minutes. 2.
Wow.
So, but my thing is, as grown people, we've lost so much time. I don't even know how productive the world is anymore because everybody's just sucked into social media all day.
Unless you live in North Korea.
Because you know what? I started to post this because I saw it early this morning. I drank coffee late at night.
They don't know what's going on outside.
But Donovan, check this out. I heard this is a white dude. And he was saying, okay, he took the app, TikTok, for example. He said, that app is made by China, right? He says, but over here, when you see people on TikTok, they acting stupid, they twerking, and they doing this dumb stuff. He says, but if you look at the TikTok in China, he says they're doing things like using their mind and they're being innovative because they don't allow that over there. So he says, now think about this. If you wanted to distract your enemy and keep them off guard, wouldn't you create an app and allow them to do the most dumb stuff you can think of and dumb their society down?
Dumb their society down, degenerate their women, all that stuff. That's all part of warfare. That's all part of warfare.
Exactly. And we're just scrolling all day, scrolling.
Well, whenever I go and Dimitri, we travel and stuff like that. Whenever I go overseas, especially in Asia, and I haven't been to Europe in a while, but especially in Asia, because that's the new big place. GDP in China is the biggest area, and all the millionaires are in China and all stuff like that, right? The first thing they ask me is, why are your women so damn slutty? Why are your women whores? Why are they whorish acting? And I know you ladies don't like to hear that, but look at the bat wings you guys got on your eyelids. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but how are you 50-something years old and you're twerking in a video?
Right. And I want to put a disclaimer on that because I know what you mean, but not all women. I know you didn't say
not all women.
I know you didn't say that. Just want to kind of put that out there. But but you've traveled the world, so and I know I almost called you the N-word, but I ain't gonna do that on here. I know you've seen a whole lot of red light districts, boo-boo.
Yes, absolutely. And it's regulated and it's safe and stuff like that. But those women, once they leave their profession, you wouldn't even know that they're sex workers. You wouldn't even know it.
Right. So, are women in the United States more slutty, as you say, than
more loose? Yeah.
I don't know, Donovan, because I know that you're well traveled, and so you've been damn near everywhere in the world. So maybe you can speak to that. I haven't been everywhere in the world.
Well, I wouldn't say loose because people are the same everywhere, and we travel. People are the same everywhere. So
that's why I brought up the red light district thing.
Right. So in some capacity. Yeah, people are the same everywhere, but I'm saying perception is everything, is reality. So when they see us on TikTok, 50-year-old woman, show me a 50-year-old Asian woman that's twerking.
I mean, you drive a hard bargain. You drive a hard bargain and ask a very tough question. And I will say this, I am not saying that Asians and Hispanics or any other woman is not doing that. But to your point, have I seen older women of the other races doing that? And I would say, no, I have not.
Exactly.
I haven't seen it, but to your point over here is like, we have a lot of issues. Because I'm trying to be careful. We have a lot of issues because we know that the mama is the first teacher. And unfortunately, not all, and I don't even know if it's a lot, but there's enough of our women that are teaching our girls some of the most deplorable behavior that you can. Like, I get it, twerking, I guess it's fun. I'm not saying I haven't done it maybe even in jest, right? But I've never done it outside of this house or whatever. But I'm thinking, what is in your mind, ladies? Not y'all that's watching, because I know y'all don't do that kind of stuff. But what's in your mind to bend your booty over and bust it open and just start twerking it everywhere? Like, what is that?
Right. Well, we remember that video we saw where the girl was getting married and she was in the, she was doing a stripper thing for her man with the wedding dance and stuff like that. Remember that? I mean, who thought with all of those older women there that that's acceptable? And what I hate is, and I'm not saying I'm this upper echelon person, but a lot of my friends, my white friends and my Asian, my Hispanic friends that are, you know, people that are of means, they always ask me, they go, what was that about? What, they're like, is that what Black people do? Or, you know what I mean? I'm like, no, I'm always trying to defend us when sometimes it's like, damn.
Well, I mean, so the problem is this, because, it really kind of boils down to numbers too. Mm-hmm. Because we are only a certain percentage of the population, depending on who you believe, 13 to 17%, depending on who you believe, I don't know. Sure. Because we're such a small part of the population, when we have our women doing those type of things, they, unfortunately, when I say they, the media, because I'll tell y'all this, when I'm on Facebook, because, Facebook has reels now, where even if you don't want to see them, they're just there. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I know I don't subscribe to certain types of stuff, but why every time I see some reels, for the most part, it's Black women twerking their thighs and they're like
shaking their butts and
buffoonery. And so, I mean, because we are such a small part of the population, it does read more on us when we're misbehaving, if you will, right? Mm-hmm. White people, of course, they control and operate everything for the most part, and then more of the population is not going to look as bad. So we might not see it as much as we see us doing it, but we also got to know that the apps, the media, they all they promote that behavior among Black people to show that image to the world. Like, that's what the Black people over here are doing. They busting it open and twerking, and sagging all day.
Absolutely. But, but in regards to the Kanye Kim thing, there's got to be a happy medium to parenting. I mean, ladies, I'm sorry, as a father, isn't it funny that you guys don't have a problem with what Kim is doing unless it's happening to your daddy, unless it's happening to your brother, unless it's happening to your son? That's when y'all want to be acting about how unfair the system is. But that's a system that will not change until you ladies start making it equitable and fair.
For me personally, I just don't understand. And listen, I was a young mom. I had my daughter at 21, almost 22.
That ain't young, goddammit.
I had her at 21, almost 22 years old.
You're 6 years behind the average black woman.
Well, yeah. Well, so I was fairly young. Mm-hmm. And there was just some things that I just didn't do anymore. I didn't have all the answers. But it's some things I didn't do anymore. But I will say that I had good women in my life. My mom, my grandmother, they taught me things and told me certain things. And I just, certain things I just wasn't going to do. And I didn't want to teach that to my child.
Well, what is something that your mother told you in regards to when your ex, and you guys were young at the time, and he was getting into it? You guys were doing the silly stuff that, you kind of fall into, like you said, you didn't have all the answers. What was the one thing your mother told you in regards to your baby and dealing with him?
And that's actually where I was saying, because, sometimes I get that old people brain. So I had my daughter when I was
going to be your child.
Right. I had my daughter when I was 21 and her father was 23, and we would, because we didn't have the information and the knowledge to be parents, and we didn't stay together. Unfortunately, we broke up when she was 1. Mm-hmm. And so we would have that tug of war type of situation. It's mine, babe. Oh, I want her. Oh, you need. We went to court 115,000 times, and you get her on this day, and you got to bring her back on this day, and all that other stuff. And then my mom finally had to say, "Listen, no matter how much time you spend with her and how much time he spends with her, she's always equally going to be you guys' child. So you're wasting time and energy, and in the process, you messing this child up over who gonna have her more, who gonna spend one more minute, and all that other stuff with her." So, and when she said that to me, now it took him a little bit longer to get that, but when she said that to me, it made sense. And so, like, a lot of times when I hear women or mothers talking about, "Well, I'm not gonna let him have her or him for the weekend," I'm like, you don't want no time off? You don't want to go get a break for a minute?
Right. You don't want to go get coffee or to the mall or do some shopping or just have a beauty salon day?
Nah, I want to make sure he don't get no extra time with it, because a lot of times, listen, a lot of times that we know, if you've ever been to family court, that the time you spend with the child is really predicated, or the child support is predicated upon how much time you spend with that child. So a lot of times the mama is getting child support, and it's on a certain percentage of the time. Well, if I give it to him another day, he's gonna try to take me back to court, and then they're gonna take some child support off.
Like you're not taking him to court, right? Okay, got it.
But it's like, well, if he's paying child support and he wants to spend more time with the child, what's more important in the larger? I know it takes money to make the world go around, and bills and stuff, but isn't it just as valuable for a father to spend time with his child?
And isn't it true that, okay, you're dealing with children. They don't care about the money. The kids ain't worried about no damn money. They're worried about the time.
That's true. But again, money, it does take money.
Yeah.
And I know you're not saying that, because I know you paid a lot of money.
Yeah, I paid a lot of money.
So,
but the thing is, though, all kids want is the time. I've listened to a lot of grown women that say, oh, and they were brainwashed. Oh, my dad wasn't shit, whatever. And then I said, well, what? Oh, he wasn't paying no child support. But how much time did he spend with you? Oh, he always wanted to come get us. Why didn't he come get you? My mama wouldn't let him. It's time. They're all, at the end of the day, when you listen to what these grown women are saying, oh, my daddy didn't spend no time with me. And now your dad was the local drug dealer that just got a felony or whatever. He ain't got no money. He ain't got no job. The system's against him, but he wants to spend time with you. And your mother is not letting it happen.
Let me ask you this, Donovan, because you're a father, and you see the state of children in our community. Okay, so in Memphis, there was a situation where there was and you may have seen it. The father was 25 years old and the mama was 27. She just had a 2-day-old baby. Okay. Now he had already moved on with somebody else. Okay. Yeah. And this particular girlfriend that he was with then had 2 abortions in 6 months with him. Okay. So she said that she told him, hey, I don't want to be with you because you got a lot going on. But people are saying that maybe his girlfriend is complicit in what I'm about to tell you. Okay. So somehow he ends up going to get the baby mama that just had the 2-day-old baby, took her, shot her in her head, killed her, and took that 2-day-old baby. And I really hate to say this, and threw that baby in the river. Yeah, I heard about that. And they have not found the baby. 2 days old. It's freezing cold in Tennessee. And I just said this. I just know that if there's a God above, that he took that baby before that baby endured what it would have endured. I just got to believe that. Yeah, the point that I'm making is this, okay? Now, we know there's a lot of cases where moms may have custody of the sons or whatever, and let's say they get a certain age, and the daddy may say, hey, let me raise them. If they're not together, let me raise them, let them come live with me, let me raise them. And a lot of times mothers will say, nah, he can't go live with you. And because a lot of times it really do be about money, but it's like, all right, so then you may have a situation like this. Now, I don't know if the little boy, to me, he's a little boy, 25-year-old, I don't know if his mama his daddy was in his life, but I'm saying this to you women out there. If you're going through that situation and you have a son that may be of age, where he's needing a man to be with him 24/7, and the dad is saying, hey, send it with me. And, and I don't want to even put a preface on it if the dad is a good dad. Yeah. If the dad is saying that, it would behoove you to allow that father to take your son, because you've done all you can do. You've nurtured him and you did all that. Now let the daddy go and take him and make him a man.
Mold him, right.
What are your thoughts on that?
I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, I'm sorry. A woman cannot raise a man. I'm sorry. It's like a man can't raise a woman.
You think she can raise him, but she can't make him.
Right. She can't make him in that aspect. Right. I mean, I have nieces and stuff. I can only, when I would spend time with them, I can only take them so far. So what I would do is I would go and take them to the older women, my aunts and their girl cousins, their older girl cousins, and they kind of showed them what they needed to know. I mean, I can sit there and I would do this to the best of my ability. I could talk to them technically about women genetics. But that's not the same as, well, girl, in a scenario like this is what, those little idiosyncrasies that you ladies know, those things. I can't talk to her about stuff like that, but I can talk about those idiosyncrasies to a young man and say, hey, when you're with a girl, put your condom on like this and don't worry about that. You know what I mean? And we forget those things because then, we're looking at these young men that are being raised and these young women that are being raised in these single mother homes. And I'm sorry, ladies, I don't give a damn how you feel about it. You can email me all damn day. It's not going to change my mind. These single mother homes are failing. They are failing. Not all, but most. Did you get that video I sent you of Judge Mathis where the mother was there?
I didn't get a chance to watch it yet.
You got to watch that because I got a lot of feedback. I sent it out late last night, and a lot of people were like, damn. Because here's the problem, ladies. If you watch that video, and I'm just going to generalize here. This is just generalizing. Sometimes it is not in the best interest of the child to be put with the mother. How are you going to put a child with the mother because she's a woman and the father has means and might be in a better situation? Go watch that video and you're going to see a horrible mother and the girl's testimony talking to Judge Mathis at what she had endured. This girl was having sex in the 6th grade, being molested by her mother's boyfriends, and all this other stuff was going on. And yet the court system still kept the child with the mother and kept the girl. And a lot of children are in this situation. They're kept in a perpetual situation of poverty when the father might be a better option.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I agree. I mean, I fortunately was not raised by a single mom. I always had a dad in the home, So I say fortunately because, I got the best of both worlds.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying it was perfect, but I did get the best of both worlds. But, and I also say it's important for mothers to allow fathers to be in their daughters' lives because there's certain things, we as women, we gonna tell our daughters, girl, don't stay this man, he did. But we need men to not just, warn their daughters about men.
Protect the daughters, goddamn it.
And talk to her about the positive aspects of dating men. Honey, when because I said this and I do mean this with all my heart, and I really want to maybe just one day have a conversation. We need to teach our daughters that Prince Charming needs to be more than just charming. And so that's where a father comes in, where he would say, honey, and moms too. Yeah, I know we done read to you Cinderella and, Snow White and the Sleeping Beauty. The prince comes up on the horse and he's
Coming to America. We let you watch that 4 or 5 times.
Yeah. And you get on the back of his horse and you trot off into the sunset. But the thing that's missing in that conversation is, all right, honey, because this is why, listen to, I'm going to say a word now. This is why a lot of women, and I'm speaking from experience, this is why a lot of women look for, he got to be 6'4". He got to be this caramel.
Unrealistic.
He got to be chocolate brown. He got to have his muscles and it. And so we only, and y'all men do it too, but I'm talking for women. So we only see the physical stuff, and that horse may have to be a Mercedes or a BMW or Range. Instead of saying, okay, honey, that's cute and nice if you can get a man that is like that. However,
it's possible.
It's very possible, but there's something in between how he looks and that goddamn horse. He has to be respectful. He has to be a provider. He has to be a protector. He also has to be a leader. So and he's there's things he has to do other than just what he does physically, because a man, and I argue this a lot with women, a man with a nice car and muscles and money, that don't mean he's any good. Y'all overlooking these trash men and men who maybe work in a warehouse or whatever. He don't have that glorious job, but he's a good man.
Well, remember those guys in the high school that had the hot cars and stuff like that? They still got those hot cars today because that's all they got. And it's been held together by tape. But let me ask you this question.
A Honda CRX still.
Yeah, exactly. With the Suzuki Jeep. Yeah. He's still rolling. But let me ask you this, Demetra, and let's be honest. When you met me in high school, I was in high school, correct? Mm-hmm. Did I have a car? Mm-mm. Did I have a house?
You had your mama had a house.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about in general for me.
Oh no.
I think I was working at a pizza parlor at the time, part-time, like most teenagers got a little part-time job, whatever. But I'm catching the bus like everybody else and just going around, going to the mall and all that other stuff like that, right?
Right.
So being from the same neighborhood, we all started the same, right? You knew, hey, this guy's just an average Joe, whatever the deal is. Did we not both go to RCC?
We did. That's the local college.
Yeah, the local college. Did we not all experience sitting on that quad and missing classes?
Did we all experience, wasting money and failing classes?
Right. But that's when it was $11 a unit. You know what I mean? You can do that. Right. So take it from there to where I'm at now. I had to work and struggle and make decisions to put me where I'm at today. And you had to do the exact same thing to put you where you're at today. It doesn't happen overnight for a lot of us. But for some reason, a lot of these young women and men, everybody's going to be a rapper. I'm going to the studio. You're 50 years old and you're still trying to make it. And the women are still, I'm going to have a hot girl summer. And, they're getting the BBLs and all this other stuff.
You better quit.
If you're 40-something years old and you're just now getting a BBL to attract some type of dude, save your money. Save your money. Because I'm going to tell you as a man, I'd rather get a young girl that don't have to get a BBL to keep all her shit together, whatever. But my point of what I'm trying to say is this. It takes work. That dude and your discernment of giving that dude the time, if he's working at McDonald's or he's going to college, one day he's going to get there. And guess what? He's going to get there faster. I don't know a man today that is successful that doesn't have a strong woman behind him.
You better preach. And, and unfortunately, I don't know why. I mean, I guess I know why, a lot of men, especially brothers, are sold that, oh gosh, it's better to be single. No, it's not better to be single. No. As they say in the Nation of Islam, settle down to a good choice. Be selective about who you're going to choose to be a life partner, because that's what marriage is a life partner. Somebody who is probably stronger in some areas than you are in this area. Y'all complement each other. And I say this too, because Donovan, me and you had this conversation yesterday, you and I. Had this conversation yesterday, because you were saying how you were taught as a young man to do certain things, this, that, and the other. And I said, yeah, that's true. But if you play your cards right, gentlemen, get you a woman that all you got to do, okay? You got to do some other stuff. I'm gonna be clean, but all you got to do is go to work and come home. Now I say that now you're gonna do the stuff around the house, the yard stuff.
Of course, you got to maintain your castle. You got to maintain the castle.
But I'm saying you go to work, come home. You got food on the table. I ain't talking about no stuff out no boxes and cans either, boo-boo. I'm talking from scratch. I'm talking about the gravy, the potatoes, the meat. All that is all done from scratch. You don't even know how to use no washing machine because you don't wash clothes. Now, ladies, I'm talking about a man who's on his square. I ain't talking about, Ray and Pookie.
Ray sitting there that just taking for granted. Right.
I ain't talking about, y'all know who I'm talking about. So, please don't come for me. But, and so the point that I was making, Donovan, is as a man, it's okay if you don't know how to do those things. If you got a woman at home, you treating her right, it's going to be her pleasure, as it was mine when I was in a relationship. It's my pleasure to make sure you got clean clothes every day you go to work, whenever you go somewhere, you got food on the table, your lunch is packed. You ain't taking no frozen burritos and no cup of noodles. You taking stuff that people like, damn, do she got a sister? You know what I'm saying? So it's okay that you don't know how to do those things, but you get with somebody who's like, I'm gonna make life easier for you because I know you going to work. You ain't trying to come on do no dishes and cook and all that. If I'm at the house, you don't worry about it. I got it.
Exactly.
You don't know how to pay no bills. All you do is just give the money here, babe. Here's a check. Here's the money. You don't even know how to pay no bills because you ain't had to do it because you got somebody at the house doing it.
And let me interject with that too. Fellas, stop listening to your aunts and your mama putting in your head, what's she doing with the money? You don't give your money to that girl. That's a woman's mentality. And I see that a lot with these guys where they don't want to give their checks up to a woman that might be financially more superior than them with finances. The guy could be ignorant as hell, but his mama is putting that ghetto mentality of, oh, well, what's she doing with the money? She getting her
But
hair done.
But Donovan, would she want some man coming home and doing that to her? I don't know what you're doing with my money.
Of
She
course.
would never have it. But when it comes to her baby, don't get that girl out your check. It's like, why are you in their business, first of all? And if it's a good woman, you teaching your son to be, irresponsible and untrusting.
Well, a lot of young men and guys that were my age had good women that was ruined because their mothers or their aunts put in their head all the bullshit. How you know that's your baby? He knows that's his baby or not. He knows.
Did you lay down with her once?
Right.
Yeah, I did.
You don't know that's your baby. You better not sign that birth certificate. You know what I mean? I mean, it just, I seen really good couples break up because of the BS that is being put in the heads by the older women to their sons or nephews or whatever.
And I can speak from experience with that. My daughter's father, I don't think he watches the show. If he does, hey, how you doing? We get along good now, but he'll attest to it. I got pregnant at 21, and his mama told him the same thing. How you know that's your baby? And so he had the black ass nerve, because my baby daddy is like Wesley Snipes, dark chocolate. Okay, he looked like Big Daddy. He looked like Big Daddy Kane when he was younger. Because I digress. Now let me come on back. Okay, so he calls me and says, well, my mama said, I ain't got to do nothing for you until I find out if that's my baby. Now, mind you, I'm 6 months pregnant. I wasn't working. I had a cosmetology license, but
you can't work at,
So, and he had money. It wasn't like he was broke. So he had went home to help his mom because they had flooded or something in North Carolina.
Isn't that funny? He could help his mama.
Helped her build her whole house up the floor and everything.
But he can't help his baby mama.
Child, let me tell you this. When he called me and told me, my mama said, I need to make sure that's my baby before I do anything for you. I told my mama called. She thought she was calling his mama, but he answered the phone. When I tell you, my mom lit a fire under him. She says, do I understand you? Now this is true story. My mama, RIP, if I'm lying and flying. Do you know my baby daddy will go to my mom and say, I will pay you if I can have a daughter or a baby with your child. I will pay you. So my mom said, do you mean to tell me that you're disputing that this child belongs to you? And he was like, well, my mama said, she says, I'll tell you what, because he had to leave. So he left all of his stuff in my mom's garage. All of his high-end, CD players was high-end back then. Left all that stuff in the garage. She says, I will tell you what. Since you went home and your mama got in your ear about whether this is your child or not, she says, everything you own in that garage, if you don't have some money for my daughter so she can go buy her some maternity clothes because she cannot work, you got her pregnant and you wanted this child, if you don't send some money here, Western Union, I go tell you how long it was. Western Union, I'm pawning everything in this garage. And he gets off the phone with her and says, please don't let your mama do that. Please, I'm going to send you some money. Do you know that Negro sent me some money? And he never, ever, ever said, now my daughter looked more like him than she do me. But he never came to me like that ever again. But his mama, what if I didn't have a gangster mama? Word up, mama, R.I.P. What if I didn't have a gangster mama? What if my mom was like, well, shit, they do got a point. He would have ran roughshod all over me. But she let him know, don't let your silly ass mama put ideas in your head about my daughter.
Right. The one thing my mother, that was my mom on the phone, by the way. One thing about my mom, one thing about my mom was she always told me, never say it ain't yours when you are laid down and possibly was with that girl. That's the worst thing. That's the worst thing you can tell a woman, that it ain't yours when you knew you had laid down with her at one time in that interval.
Did you hit it once?
Exactly.
Yes, I did. Well, and to further notice, that is your child. That's what mothers need to start telling their sons.
Right. Hey, and then, even if, you got to wait till the child's born or whatever, back when the technology was in our day, the Stone Age, wasn't doing, you had to wait, right? But, if you're a good guy, there's nothing wrong with giving the Pampers and stuff until you know. Okay, and let's say the baby's not yours. Okay, you bought this, you bought that. Hey, it's not my baby. Right. Hey, it's not my baby, but I'm glad I was able to, help out, whatever. And guess what? that little change you just spent is nothing like 18 to 20. Wait, I think it's 23 years now. 22 years. 22 years.
The kid get out of college.
22 years of pain for that 5 minutes of pleasure.
And to your point, it's not my child. It may be fortunate, unfortunate, however you see it, but I acted like it was until further notice.
Exactly.
I didn't put nothing bad in your mind and have you stressing out while you was pregnant, even if because I hit it once, so it's possible. So anyway, Donovan, I know you got to get out of here. So
wait. Before we go though, I have a lot of young girls and kids that I know from relationships that I had, and I love those kids because I knew them when they were little and stuff like that. That I mean, they're like my grandkids or something. I love seeing them growing up and they're grown, and I'm like, God, I remember that kid was little. Woo, that was a close one. That one could have been mine. And it's just a good feeling when you see these kids, grow up and they look at you like a mentor or somebody that they can look into. I got these kids in Louisiana that, I mean, I just love them because they were the cutest kids, and then their kids are cute. And I just love them, and I see them on Facebook all the time. Some of them be thotting, but that's what they do. You know what I mean? But I still love them to death. And there's nothing wrong with that because I did the right thing by their mom or their dad or whatever it was. And was, hey, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's a good feeling when these kids grow up and they look at you and they say, hey, Mr. Donovan, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. So.
Absolutely. So it's been another one for the books. Thank you so much, Donovan. And I know that next time I will be on time. I won't have the drama I had today. So anyway,
now you were just on Black people time. You know how we do.
I mean, a little bit. Let's keep it real. I ain't gonna lie to you. So anyway, y'all, thank y'all so much for being here on the Demetra K Show and the podcast. I put all the ways that you can watch or listen to the podcast if you don't have time to watch the video on Podbeam, Spreaker, and iHeartRadio.
And Spotify.
And Spotify. Okay, so Spotify as well, y'all. So anyway, we also have different ways to donate to the show to help keep the show going because it does incur some costs. So we have a Cash App, $ Demetra K, PayPal, DemetraK@gmail.com, and Venmo @Demetra K. And so we love and appreciate y'all. You guys do have a great weekend, and we will see y'all on Sunday, 5 p.m. Central Time. Well, I don't know what we'll talk about, but you guys are going to be talking about it with us because this is one of the only shows that we read each and every comment because we feel like the viewers should be participants as well. Y'all have a great Saturday and stay safe.
Be safe. See you guys. Peace.